Hi, this is Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And in this episode, we're going to explore your life as your spiritual practice. And if you haven't noticed, I'm in a different studio. I had to go into a studio to do some other videos, so I figured why not do a couple shows here? We'll be back in our regular studio soon. So, today's episode, your life as your spiritual practice. To become your divine self and experience fourth dimensional consciousness, like we talked about in last episodes, it requires that you express and embody the higher truths that you contact in your daily life. So all of your ordinary, everyday circumstances really provides you with wonderful opportunities to practice acting as your divine self. And as you live your life in new ways, you discover how much you're capable, how much better you can make your life. And as you do this, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. You realize that everything in your life really is being brought to you for your benefit. So if challenges or problems arise, know that they're coming up for you to handle them. You know, what's in front of you right now is exactly what you're supposed to be working with. The circumstances in your life are about you, even if they seem to be coming from other people around you. So think about that for a minute. Everything outside of in your reality, and that includes challenges or problems, is about you. Every situation is offering you an opportunity to put a higher truth, greater wisdom, new consciousness into practice. And you begin to realize that every problem or challenge is really a blessing coming your way, offering you a higher way of being and living and feeling and thinking, offering you the opportunity to create a more flowing, peaceful, harmonious, and abundant life. I mean, don't worry if your life does not improve overnight. The spiritual path is not always an easy one, and you're learning to manifest. You know, anytime we learn something new, it takes practice, trial and error, awareness. And in the beginning, it may only be your trust and faith that tells you that everything is happening for your higher good, even if it does appear that way or feel that way. But as you progress, you'll come to know with conviction that this is so. As you reach the higher levels of consciousness, the issues that arise become more subtle. Your life may already feel peaceful and harmonious and flowing, but doing this work has many rewards. The work you're doing on the inner will unfold for many years to come. It's like planting seeds. It's all the energy that are governed by these universal laws. However, the more commitment and focus you put into becoming and connecting with your divine self, the greater the transformation will be in your experience. And at first it might seem like nothing's happening. I know many of you experience this as you're starting to open up to this. And you might only be aware that you've changed when sometime later you happen to notice that your life is more peaceful, or that you're having fewer problems, or there's less things going on in your relationships and things are easy and more flowing for you. And you might realize that your finances are a little bit better. Some limitation somehow has fallen away, or some problem has been solved. And you may notice that you feel better overall, or have less sick days, or feel less stress or tension. And you may notice that you take life a little bit easier and peaceful, and you're feeling moments of more happiness, and you're not thrown off by life surprises. Spiritual progress is usually, although it can be an experience, right? And you can experience some amazing, let me put it this way. The spiritual path is not like this, boom, all of a sudden you experience this awakening. That can happen, and it does happen for some people. For the most of it part, and the growth that we experience, it's a gradual awakening that, really is many shifts, many moments to moments of realizations, aha moments, as Oprah says. Often you'll not remember that you were ever limited or had a problem in some area, as transforming into a higher consciousness and becoming your divine self comes about naturally. And it feels as if you've always been that way. Also, it can often take several years after you've opened to new consciousness or had a spiritual insight for this to become a part of you that you can express and embody in your daily life. So be patient, be kind to yourself. I mean, for most people, change comes gradually and in a very natural way, and it feels as if they did not do anything and all of a sudden, bam. In fact, For most people, it feels as if their life has kind of always been this way, and they forgot. They don't even remember what their what their life was like before. And for me, it's not until I tell my story of when I learned the universal laws that I realize how far I've come. And I'm sure you've heard the story, right? I was $60,000 in debt, 30 pounds overweight, just broke up with my last bad boy boyfriend that I moved to California for. I had no support system, no friends. I sound like a country western song. I had to rent a room in a house from a very strange woman because I couldn't afford my own apartment by myself, nor did I know anybody that I could room with. It's like I quit my job because I just couldn't do it anymore. Whew. So all the rewards of the spiritual life are increasing, and it's increasing peace and increasing harmony, and it increases a greater sense of well-being, more harmonious relationships, of course, abundance in all areas. You find changes in the material world, and yet it's not the goal of the spiritual life. You don't draw these things to you by going after them directly. Manifestations are rewards. They're like a side effect of living and expressing and embodying the light and the love that you are. I like to think of them as little gifts from the universe. One thing I want to say is don't expect that you'll never have issues come up. Please don't feel that as, oh God, I failed, or as old patterns come up. I think that's the expectation of most people trying to apply the universal laws, that life will be forever perfect with no issues, or that any past issues of insecurities or lack or unworthiness will forever be gone forever. Man, it'd be amazing if that was the case. Many people find that they open to the consciousness of their divine self, they suddenly become more aware of old patterns that are still occurring. And they may even feel like they failed because they haven't been able to shift this behavior. This is normal, and it's an indication that you're moving into a higher consciousness. So congratulations. Embrace these patterns as you see them arise within you and around you, knowing that this is your opportunity to change and evolve them. This is how you embody illumination of your divine self and allow it to transform your life. Do not force yourself to change. Do not go into battle with a problem or a perceived error in yourself or in another person. Surrender this area or this challenge to your divine self and allow it to transform that area. The more attention you put on the problem, the more you make it real and the more it grows. That's law of attraction at its best. It's important to forgive yourself for the past. As you deepen your connection to your divine self, you must always recognize better and more loving ways you could have acted in the past. Remember that you were always doing the best you could given your circumstances and your beliefs and the level of consciousness at that time. Growth becomes much easier when you let go of the past and instead live in the present. Know that when issues come up, you now have the consciousness and the wisdom and the understanding to shift them. In the past, you may have ignored these areas, hoping they would just kind of go away, slipping them under the rug. But once you have the consciousness to act in a higher way, to view the situation for a more evolved perspective, past issues often come up to be handled. And this is a sign that you've moved into higher awareness and understanding. And you can now improve those situations and relationships and circumstances that appeared to be a problem from a lesser level of understanding. Spend time connecting to your divine self this week. And remember, this is called a spiritual practice for a reason. We're learning, we're growing. Be easy on yourself. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how this information has impacted you, and let's continue the conversation. As always, if you haven't already done so, please go to ChristyWhitman.com and join the family. And if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family. And just remember this, the universe is friendly and is always working for you. It's always supporting you in what you're asking for. You ask by what you send out in your thoughts and your vibration. Have a wonderful week.